This is All Indiana Sports.
All right, we're here to talk about the Pacers, but it's basketball related, it's basketball adjacent, and so we're going to talk about these moments. What are these are the top 6 moments that I've narrowed down over the NCAA tournament. What are your top moments? Rank them. I'm going to give you mine, okay? All right. This is no offense in any way to any of these moments because all of these are deserving. What a tournament full of different moments and different scenarios. Some of them have stories behind them, and that's what I love. I love stories, and so you're going to hear stories behind some of these short ones. So number 6 is the missed shot from Vanderbilt at the end of the game against Nebraska because it's a miss. That's the only reason, because if that's a make, that's instantly up there. But it's a miss. But what a moment for that ball to go in the cylinder and then out at the buzzer. Absolutely incredible, but it's a miss. It's number 6. At number 5, hear me out. What a moment in the flow of the game for Otega Oweh to put up the shot just across half court in the flow on the run and for it to go in. What a moment. But it's Kentucky. They should have already had control of the game, and that was only to get it into overtime. That wasn't a game winner. So that, even though I get it, and it was only in the round, it was in the first round. So all those reasons, Otega Oweh, so many reasons it could have been, but it's not. It's number 5. Number 4. It's a tough one. Number 4 for me, I'm gonna give this 3 A and B, and it's right here in the middle. The 2 layups, okay, they're layups, and so they're not as big of a deal. But you have 2 players, one of which did not score the entire game, and that would be Darling for St. John's here. That I think is 3A, 3B, simply because of knocking off Kansas and the situation to send it, I think, send them into the Sweet 16. The opening round, High Point, you have a guy who had not hit a 2-point basket the entire season. He gets a breakaway layup. Yes, it's a breakaway. Yes, it's High Point, but it's High Point. This guy, so that's the story. This guy not even scoring a 2-point basket. His first 2-point basket of the entire season was in the NCAA tournament to win the game to send them into the next round. Congratulations, High Point. And they actually played pretty tough in their second. Almost got that one done. And once again, that leaves me with the top 2 shots here. And I don't think anything can take away from Braylon Mullins and the shot to send it into overtime or send him into the Final Four. Although the Figueres shot knocking off the defending champions to send Iowa into the Sweet 16, to me, is right there, at least at this moment. I think that history will only really remember Mullins' shot from this tournament as we get further and further away from it. But that moment for Figueres and that moment of beating Florida and the defending champions to send the 9 seed Iowa Hawkeyes into the Sweet 16 was pretty incredible. Braylon Mullins, though, especially the whole play, he gets the knockaway. He gets it passed to him as a freshman from Caravan, the legendary UConn player, and to hit it virtually at the buzzer and all of the aftermath. So there you go. That's my rankings. What's yours? Leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear. But we're here to talk about Pacers basketball. So I'm Kevin, and absent this week is Liam. But we are excited to present to you the All Indiana Sports Podcast. And Welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to go over the past 3 Pacers games after a short winning streak the past week. And they did what they needed to this week, and I'll give you also a preview and scenarios for the close of the season this next week as we go all in. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at All Indiana Sports, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We've been doing this all season long as it kind of shaped up at the beginning of the season. It's time for the franchise record tracker. The 82-83 season was the worst season in franchise history at this point in the season. They were 20-59. At this point in the 25-26 season, with 3 games left in the season, 18-61. So it appears at this point on track, and I would say probably going to be the worst record in franchise history. Is that bad? Not necessarily. When you think of how they've constructed the season based on Tyrese Halliburton's injury and knowing he's going to be back, and them trying to get the number 1 or a top draft pick. It is a very loaded draft. That's why we started off with talking about the tournament, although none of those players probably are who are the Pacers going to target. But let's go through the games here. First up was at the Hornets, a 108-129 victory. The Hornets hung 38 in the first quarter. Con Knipple trying to do his best for the Rookie of the Year, but it looks like it is going to be his college teammate Cooper Flagg because of the recency bias effect. Although when you score 40 plus in 2 straight games toward the end of the season, that's going to be kind of your ticket. Pascal Siakam had 30 in this game, 7 rebounds, 2 of 4 from 3. Quentin Jackson, what a season he has had, especially toward the end, the latter half. 16 points, 5 assists, 2 of 3 from outside. Jay Huff, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 from distance, but it took him 10 tries to do that, so not so hot in that area percentage-wise. Kobe Brown, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 1 of those rebounds away from a double-double in a starting role for him. And Obi Toppin, 11 points, going 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. Pacers had good balance stats, 42% on 36 attempts from deep, 29 assists, 11 offensive rebounds. Those are some major categories that I look at for the statistical difference in the game. Charlotte was just a little bit better, 49% with 49 shots from 3, 31 assists, 12 offensive rebounds. They also made 13 of 15 from the charity stripe, while Indiana was only 7 for 10. You add up those 3-point differences and the free throws, that's 33 points right there. That's more than enough to cover the difference in the game. So, some of those categories that I look at. The next game was at the Cavaliers up in Cleveland. What a terrible place. Tanking masterstroke from the Pacers performed well, even without their normal starters, but a 27-17 fourth quarter sealed the loss. It's weird to say that. You know, you want to say sealed the victory, but sealed the loss. It's kind of what we're rooting for at this point in the season with the Pacers. Micah Potter, 21 points, 12 rebounds for that double-double, 3 of 5 from downtown as a starter. Obi Toppin, 29 points, 8 rebounds off the bench, and he hit all 10 of his free throws. I love that free throw connoisseur here. Jalen Slauson, 19, 6 rebounds, 5 for 7 from outside in the starting lineup this time. Jackson had 15. Kobe Brown, 11, 7 rebounds, but only 3 of 10 from distance. There was no statistical reason for the Pacers to have lost this game, really. They should have won it. If you look at the statistics, they won 3-point percentage and 3-point makes, free throws, assists, offensive rebounds. But once again, that's why it's a master stroke in tanking. If you just come up just a little shy after such a good outing. That leads us to the last game we're going to cover, at least in depth here. And that's the Timberwolves 104-124 loss. The Pacers continued their tanking ways as the lineup was decimated with injuries to major star power. I don't know. They tweaked something, I guess. That led to continued opportunities for up-and-comers. And even the stars, though, may have struggled to overcome a 39-point Minnesota third quarter. And I hear you. If the starters in there, they play better defense, I get it. But what a performance from Minnesota. Ethan Thompson, 17 points. Toppin and Slauson, 14, both off the bench. Huff had 12 and 2 for 3 from 3 this time, so redeemed himself. Jarris Walker, 11 in his return, and Potter also 11 off the bench this time. This one was statistically thin, with the Pacers only 35% from distance, only making 9 total threes as a team. Also, only 5 offensive rebounds and 22 turnovers compared to only 11 steals for them. All right. That leads us to the all-important game tonight, and that is at the Nets. Why is it important? Well, let me tell you. The Nets need to lose this more than the Pacers because they are only 1 game ahead in the third slot in the draft. Okay? I'm going to use this sort of flipped vernacular here. So we're looking at this not from a best scenario, but a worst scenario because you get better draft position. Okay? So the top 3 teams each have a 14% chance at the bet and the best odds for the number 1 pick. The Pacers are not out of the woods though from that top 3 in the draft order. They are 3 games ahead of Utah and Sacramento with 3 games left. If they win one, if they win one and the Pacers lose all 3, that could flip itself. Okay, the 3 remaining games, 2 are for the Pacers, 2 are against playoff teams, Detroit and Philadelphia, so they still have something great to play for. And this last one, then, the third one, is against the Nets, who are just behind the Pacers, right? So 1 is the Wizards, 2 is the Pacers, and 3 is the Nets. So all 3 of those teams would have the best shot at the number 1 overall pick. But, of course, the lottery is the lottery, and it's been very favorable to the Mavericks lately. Interesting. After they traded away Luka, they got the number 1 pick, even though they only had a 5% chance. And then they just traded away AD. To another top contender. Just saying that it's a little suspicious, we'll say. And so we hope for the best, but as we say often here, the line from Ted Lasso, it's the hope that kills us. So let's keep hoping and dying. That leads us to the Boom Baby Play of the Week. So this is, it's all me. You're going to get some stuff from Liam, but from me, you're going to get some good team, old school Indiana basketball. So this is a steal and a breakaway here. Toppin working down the floor, sees an open man under the basket. Nice wraparound pass, but Slauson was right there and saw Huff coming down full steam, ready to go. What a look. And of course, Huff can't just say, you know what, I'm going to put it up straight away. I got to do a little reverse action. So that is good team basketball, which then leads us lastly to our yes sir of the week. And you only have me, somebody who's on the stat sheet every single week, and that is Obi Toppin. Okay? Good statistical week, making the free throws, but at the same time, Ladies and gentlemen, he understood the assignment. He's working himself back from injury, so he's not going to be missing. He's got to work himself back into basketball shape and all of these things. But at the same time, he may put up 21 and make all 10 free throws, but he's going to do what he needs to not overdo it and make sure that they do what needs to be done at this point, which is lose. You got to lose. It's hard to say that. It hurts as fans, but when you understand the larger picture, that's what needs to happen. And Obi Toppin understood the assignment. So that is all that we have for this week. I believe, this is the last thing we're doing this week. We'll be back next week with more Pacers as they end the season, more Indy Ignite as they get to the latter part of their season, and the new 2-year-old Indy Ignite volleyball team that is number 1 in the league right now. And we'll also be getting into some NFL draft talk. The Colts don't have a first-round pick, so we're going to have to do a little deeper dive on some of our draft things and hopefully get an expert in to discuss the Colts' hopes and who they might pick up in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 3 different 7th round picks. So that's all that we have. I'm Kevin, and we're reminding you to stay all Indiana sports.
This is All Indiana Sports.